The signal came from a small yellow star in the outer rim of the galaxy. At first, the monitoring station on Kepler Prime thought it was just another random burst of radiation. Space was full of such things. Stars exploded, planets crashed into each other, and ancient machines still sent out their dying signals after millions of years. But this signal was different. It had patterns. It had meaning. It was intelligent. Commander Zethkar of the Galactic Council stared at the data streaming across his screen. His 4 eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of deep worry among his people. In his 300 years of service, he had seen many first contact situations. None of them had started like this. The signal was not a greeting. It was not a plea for help. It was not even directed at space at all. These creatures, these humans, were simply talking to each other, and what they were saying made Zethkar's blood run cold. "Turn up the volume," he ordered his assistant, a young Vex named Pilot. The words came through the translator, spoken in flat, calm voices. "Today marks the 70th anniversary of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima. The weapon, called Little Boy, killed approximately 70,000 people instantly. The heat was so intense, it left shadows burned into concrete where people had been standing." Zethkar's claws clicked nervously on his control panel. The humans spoke of this horror as if they were discussing the weather. The signal continued. The second bomb, dropped 3 days later on Nagasaki, killed another 40,000 people immediately. Japan surrendered 6 days after that, ending World War II. "Commander," Pilot whispered, "did they say second bomb? They used this weapon twice?" Zethkar did not answer. He was listening to more of the human transmissions. They came in hundreds, of different languages, but the translator worked on all of them. The content was always the same: violence, war, death, and the humans spoke of it all with a strange mixture of sadness and pride. In today's documentary, we explore the Black Death, which killed 1/3 of Europe's population in the 14th century. Despite this catastrophic loss of life, human civilization not only survived, but grew stronger. The Battle of Stalingrad lasted 200 days. Over 2 million people died. It was one of the bloodiest battles in human history. This week on Survival Stories, watch as our host drinks his own urine and eats raw insects while lost in the Amazon rainforest for 30 days. Zethkar stood up so fast his chair fell over. "Get me the council, now." Within an hour, representatives from 12 different species had gathered in the emergency session chamber. The room was filled with creatures of all shapes and sizes. Some breathed oxygen, others methane. Some had scales, others had fur. But they all shared one thing. They were all afraid. Admiral Kexter of the Harmony Fleet spoke first. His people were warriors, but even his voice shook. "I have reviewed the data. These humans have been at war with themselves for their entire recorded history. They have weapons that can destroy their own planet. And they choose not to use them only because they want their planet to remain livable." Dr. Valandra, the galaxy's leading expert on dangerous species, added her own analysis. "Their entertainment is worse than their history. They create stories about their own extinction and call it fun. They simulate wars, plagues, and disasters for pleasure. One of their most popular games involves surviving a zombie apocalypse." "What is a zombie apocalypse?" asked Senator Morrigan from the peaceful Lotus Worlds. "Dead humans that come back to life and eat living humans," Valandra explained. "The humans find this concept so entertaining, they have made thousands of stories about it." The chamber fell silent. Captain Rexian of the Explorer Corps raised a tentacle. "Surely they cannot be as dangerous as they seem. Every species goes through a violent phase. Look at the Keth Mori. They once bombed their own moons." "The Keth Mori bombed empty moons to test their weapons," Zethkar replied. "The humans bomb each other, and then make documentaries about it. They study their own violence, like scientists study bacteria. Dr. Velandra brought up a holographic display. Look at this. It is a human sporting event called boxing. Two humans punch each other in the head until one of them falls down and cannot get up. Thousands of other humans watch this and cheer. They call it entertainment. At least it is only two humans, Senator Morrigan said hopefully. This is football, Velandra continued, changing the display. Two groups of humans run into each other at full speed while carrying a ball. Brain injuries are common. They know this. They keep playing anyway. And this, she said, bringing up another image, is called a marathon. Humans run for 26 miles without stopping. Some of them die from exhaustion. The others call the dead ones heroes and organize more marathons. Admiral Kexter leaned forward. What about their military capabilities? Terrifying, Sethkar answered. They have enough. Nuclear weapons to destroy their planet 10 times over. They call this balance of power. They seem to think that being able to kill everyone prevents anyone from killing anyone. That makes no sense, Senator Morrigan protested. It works, Sethkar said grimly. They have not had a global war since they invented these weapons. They are too afraid of destroying themselves to use them. But they keep making more, just in case. Dr. Velandra pulled up more data. Their space program started as a military project. They wanted to build better weapons. Instead, they accidentally learned how to leave their planet. Now they call it exploration. How close are they to faster-than-light travel? Asked Captain Rexian. Unknown. But their scientific progress is chaotic and unpredictable. They make breakthroughs by accident. They discover new physics while trying to build better weapons. One of their scientists split the atom while trying to understand why elements work. The way they do, this led to nuclear power and nuclear weapons. And their population? Admiral Kexter asked. 8 billion. And growing. The chamber erupted in panicked voices. 8 billion of any intelligent species was concerning. 8 billion humans was a nightmare. Zethkar raised his hand for silence. The question before us is simple. Do we make contact with humanity, or do we eliminate them before they develop interstellar travel? We cannot commit genocide, Senator Morrigan said firmly. It goes against everything the Council stands for. Can we afford not to? Admiral, Kexter countered. If they leave their planet with the same attitude they have toward their own species, they will be unstoppable. Dr. Velandra spoke up. There is another option. We monitor them. We watch. We learn more about them before we make any decisions. How do we monitor a species that's violent without being detected? Captain Rexian asked. Very carefully, Zethkar replied. And from very far away, the Council voted. The decision was unanimous. Humanity would be watched, studied, and contained. Secret monitoring stations would be built at the edge of their solar system. Every human transmission would be recorded and analyzed. Every scientific breakthrough would be noted. And if humans showed any sign of developing faster-than-light travel, the galaxy would have to decide. Could they live with humanity as neighbors? Or would humanity be too dangerous to survive? As the Council members left the chamber, each returned to their home worlds with the same thought. They had just discovered the most dangerous species in the galaxy. And that species did not even know the galaxy existed, that the watching had begun. 3 months had passed since the Galactic Council began watching Earth. The monitoring stations at the edge of the solar system worked day and night, recording every signal that came from the small blue planet. What they learned made the situation worse, not better. The humans were getting smarter. Fast. Ambassador Kyleth of the Zephyrian Diplomatic Corps stood before the council chamber, his silver skin gleaming under the artificial lights. His people were known throughout the galaxy as the best negotiators. They had brought peace to 1,000 worlds. They had turned enemies into allies with nothing but words and careful planning. Honored council members, Kyleth began, I have studied the human situation for weeks. I believe we are making a mistake. Commander Zethkar's eyes narrowed. Explain. We are seeing only their violent side. Yes, humans fight. Yes, they have weapons. But they also have art, music, and literature. They care for their sick and wounded. They have laws against killing. They are not monsters. Admiral Kexter made a sound that might have been laughter if it had not been so bitter. Have you seen their medical procedures? They cut people open while they are still alive. They call. It's surgery. To heal them, Kyleth protested. They save lives. They also have something called mixed martial arts, Dr. Velandra added. Humans pay money to watch other humans beat each other unconscious. The loser is often taken to a hospital. Winner is given a trophy. Kyleth's confidence wavered, but he pressed on. Every species goes through difficult periods. The humans can be reasoned with. They can be guided. They can become peaceful members of the galactic community. And if you are wrong? Zethkar asked. Then we will deal with that problem when it comes. But we cannot condemn an entire species based on fear. The council voted. It was close, but Kyleth won. The Zephyrians would make first contact with humanity. They would do it carefully, with full military backup, and with a plan to retreat if things went wrong. But they would try. 2 weeks later, the ZDS Harmony dropped out of hyperspace above Earth. The ship was massive, nearly 2 miles long, and armed with enough firepower to crack a small moon. It was accompanied by a full battle fleet, hidden just outside the solar system and ready to strike if needed. The humans noticed the ship immediately. Kyleth had expected panic. He had expected the humans to launch their primitive nuclear weapons. In fear, he had expected chaos, terror, and desperate attempts to hide. Instead, the first message they received was, "Hello there. This is Houston Space Center. We see you up there. Do you need directions to anything? Also, do you guys eat pizza? We were just about to order some." Kyleth stared at the communication screen. Did they just offer us food? His aide, a young Zephyrian named Telon, checked the translation software. Yes, sir. They also asked if we need directions, and they seem very casual about our arrival. Perhaps they do not understand the situation, Kyleth said. Open a channel. The face that appeared on screen belonged to a middle-aged human woman with gray hair and kind eyes. She wore what appeared to be a military uniform, but she was smiling. Hi. There, the woman said. I'm General Patricia Hayes, and I'll be your point of contact for first contact procedures. Welcome to Earth. Sorry about the mess. We weren't expecting visitors today. Kyleth cleared his throat. I am Ambassador Kyleth of the Zephyrian Diplomatic Corps. We represent the Galactic Council. We have come to initiate formal contact between our civilizations. That's wonderful, General Hayes replied. We've been wondering when you folks would show up. Would you like to come down for a meeting? We've got a nice facility set up at the United Nations building in New York. Coffees. Pretty good there. You were expecting us? Kyleth asked, confused. Well, not you specifically, but somebody. I mean, space is pretty big. The odds of us being alone always seemed kind of silly. Plus, we've been picking up some weird signals for the past few months. Our tech guys figured someone was probably watching us. Telon whispered to Kyleth, Sir, our monitoring stations are completely hidden. There is no way they could have detected us. General Hayes continued talking. Oh, and before you come down, I should probably mention that we've got some protocols in place. Nothing scary, just standard first contact stuff. You know, medical. Scans, basic security checks, that sort of thing. We learned a lot from watching Star Trek. Star Trek? Kyleth asked. TV show. About humans exploring space and meeting aliens. Great show. Very optimistic about the future. You guys might like it. Kyleth looked at his aide. They have fictional stories about meeting aliens. Hundreds of them, General Hayes said cheerfully. Movies, books, TV shows, video games. We've been imagining this conversation for decades. Most of our stories end with everyone being friends, so that's nice. And the others? Oh, some of them end with big space battles and the aliens trying to take over Earth. But those are just the fun action movies. Nobody really expects that to happen. Well, except for the conspiracy theorists, but they think everything is trying to take over Earth. Kyleth felt a headache forming between his eyes. General Hayes, I must inform you that our ship is armed with weapons capable of destroying entire cities. That's nice, General Hayes replied. So are ours. Would you like to see our lunar defense platforms? We just finished installing them last month. Pretty impressive, if I do say so myself. Lunar defense platforms? Telon whispered. Sir, our intelligence reports said they barely had space travel. General Hayes seemed to hear them. Oh, you guys have been watching us, haven't you? That's sweet. But you might want to update your information. We've been pretty busy lately. Lots of new toys to play with. Kyleth decided to demonstrate Zephyrians. Power. It was a standard diplomatic move. Show strength, establish dominance, then negotiate from a position of authority. General Hayes, to demonstrate our capabilities, we will now destroy that asteroid approaching your planet. Which asteroid? General Hayes asked. We've got a few of them on the schedule for mining operations. The one designated 2087 Delta. In your system? Oh, that one. Sure, go ahead. We were going to blow it up next week anyway. It's got some nice metals in it, but it's a bit too close to our shipping lanes. Kyleth gave the order. The Harmony's main cannon charged up and fired. A beam of pure energy lanced out and struck the asteroid. It exploded in a brilliant flash of light and debris. Nice shot, General Hayes said. Clean burn, minimal debris scatter. What kind of yield was that? About 50 megatons? How did you know that? Kyleth asked, shocked. Same kind of energy signature we get from our plasma cannons. We don't use them much because they're kind of expensive to operate, but they're handy for asteroid work. You have plasma cannons? Sure, we've got all kinds of things. Particle beams, gravity wells, some experimental stuff that are physics. Team won't let us test near Earth because they're not sure what it might do to space-time. Scientists, you know. Always worried about accidentally destroying the universe. Kyleth looked at Telon. Telon looked back at Kyleth. Neither of them said anything for a long moment. General Hayes, Kyleth finally managed. Perhaps we should meet in person. Absolutely, she replied. Fair warning, though, you might want to bring some antacids. Our food can be a bit spicy if you're not used to it. Oh, and don't worry about the protesters. Protesters? Yeah, we've got about 1,000 people outside the UN building with signs. Half of them are welcoming you to Earth, and the other half are demanding that you share your technology with us. Standard human behavior when something interesting happens. They want our technology? Some of them do. Others just want to make sure you're not here to steal our water or something. Honestly, I don't know why aliens are always trying to steal water in our movies. It's everywhere out here in space. Kyleth closed the channel and sat down heavily in his command chair. Sir? Telon asked. What are your orders? Get me the council, Kyleth said quietly. Tell them the situation has changed. How has it changed, sir? Kyleth stared at the screen showing Earth, beautiful and blue and completely insane. I think, he said slowly, we may have made a terrible mistake. The emergency session of the Galactic Council was loud and chaotic. Representatives from dozens of species argued, shouted, and made threatening gestures at each other. At the center of it all sat Ambassador Kyleth, looking like he had aged 10 years in the past week. "Let me understand this correctly," Commander Zethkar said, his voice cutting through the noise. "You told them we have been watching them, and their response was to invite you for coffee?" "And pizza," Kyleth added. Weakly, they also offered pizza. Admiral Kexter slammed his fist on the table. "This is exactly what we feared. They are either completely insane or so dangerous that they feel no threat from a galactic superpower." "I think," Kyleth said quietly, "it might be both." General Crexton of the Hegemony Fleet leaned forward. His people were warriors, bred for battle across 1,000 generations. "The humans must be tested. We need to know what they are truly capable of." "Tested how?" asked Senator Morrigan nervously. "Combat," Crexton replied. "A small engagement. Nothing that would harm their population, but enough to see how they fight when threatened." Dr. Valendra brought up a holographic display of Earth. "The humans have a research station in their southern polar region. It is isolated with only a small staff. If we attack it with a minor force, we can observe their military response without causing significant casualties." "That is an act of war," Senator Morrigan protested. "It is a field test," Admiral Kexter corrected. "We need to know if the humans are as dangerous as they appear." The vote was close, but the military faction won. 3 days later, a small Krex battle group dropped out of hyperspace near Earth's South Pole. The research station they had targeted was called McMurdo Base Antarctica. According to their intelligence, it housed about 200 humans who studied ice, weather, and other boring scientific things. It should have been an easy target. The Krex ships approached the base expecting to find frightened scientists with primitive weapons. Instead, they found Dr. Marcus Webb working on what he called his weekend hobby project. Dr. Webb was a theoretical physicist who specialized in what humans called exotic matter manipulation. He was also, according to his personnel file, completely obsessed with building things that should not exist. When the alien ships appeared on his sensors, Dr. Webb did not panic. He did not call for help. He did not even stop drinking his coffee. Instead, he walked over to his computer and activated something he had been working on for the past 6 months. "Hey, Sarah," he called to his research partner, Dr. Sarah Kim. "Remember that gravity well generator I've been tinkering with? The one you said might accidentally create a black hole?" Sarah asked, not looking up from her ice samples. "That's the one. I think now might be a good time to test it." "Are those actual alien spaceships outside?" "Yep, and they're pointing weapons at us." Sarah finally looked up. "Okay, but if you accidentally destroy Antarctica, I'm putting it in my report." "Fair enough," Marcus said, and pressed a button. The first Krex ship simply vanished. One moment it was there, the next it was not. The other 2 ships detected a massive gravitational anomaly where their companion had been, but could not understand what had happened. General Crexton, commanding the small fleet from his flagship, stared at his sensors in confusion. Where did the blade of fury go? "Unknown, sir," his sensor operator replied. There was a brief gravitational spike, and then nothing. "Sir," another officer called out, "the humans are transmitting to us." "Put it through." Dr. Webb's face appeared on the screen. He was holding a cup of coffee and wearing a T-shirt that said, "I survived another day of physics." "Hi there," Dr. Webb said cheerfully. "I'm Marcus Webb, senior researcher at McMurdo Base. I noticed you folks seem to be having some technical difficulties. What did you do to our ship?" Crexton demanded. Double quotes. "Oh, that. Sorry about that. I was testing a gravity well generator, and your ship got too close. It's probably somewhere in the 4th dimension now." Don't worry, though, the crew is probably fine. Time moves differently there, so they might not even notice anything happened. The fourth dimension? Crexton's voice rose in pitch. That is impossible. Not really, Marcus replied. The math is actually pretty straightforward once you understand its space-time is more flexible than most people think. Would you like me to explain it? I've got some great charts. Sir, the sensor operator whispered urgently, I'm detecting massive energy buildups all around the base. Marcus seemed to hear him. Oh, those are just my other projects. I've got a temporal distortion field over by the main lab, a particle accelerator that I definitely was not supposed to build without permission, and something I call a reality anchor. That last one is experimental, though. I'm not entirely sure what it does. A reality anchor? Crex then asked, despite himself. Yeah, it's supposed to prevent local space-time from being affected by outside forces. But I think I might have built it backwards. Instead of anchoring reality, it might be making reality more flexible. Hard to tell without proper testing. Doctor. Kim's voice could be heard in the background. Marcus, stop telling the aliens about your illegal experiments. They're not illegal if nobody told me not to build them, Marcus called back. The International Treaty on Exotic Matter Research specifically prohibits temporal manipulation devices. I didn't read that treaty. I put it on your desk 3 times. I thought it was recycling. Crexton watched this exchange with growing horror. Are you telling me that you built weapons of mass destruction by accident? Weapons? Marcus looked offended. These aren't weapons. They're research tools. I mean, I guess you could use them as weapons if you really wanted to, but that would be a waste. Do you know how hard it is to calibrate a temporal distortion field? Sir, another officer reported, long-range sensors are detecting human military forces approaching from all directions. How many ships? Crexton asked. No ships. Sir, aircraft. They appear to be moving at impossible speeds. Marcus nodded. That'll be the Air Force. They've got some new toys they've been wanting to test. Fair warning, they're still working out the bugs in their faster-than-light fighter jets. Faster-than-light fighter jets? Crexton's voice was now barely a whisper. Yeah, they figured out how to put small hyperspace drives on regular aircraft. The pilots love it, but the mechanics hate it because the planes keep coming back from missions before they left. That violates causality. Tell me about it. The paperwork is a nightmare. At that moment, 6 human fighter jets materialized around. The Crex ships. They had not flown there. They had not jumped there through hyperspace. They had simply appeared, as if they had always been there. McMurdo Base, this is Captain Rodriguez of the 571st Experimental Squadron, a new voice said. Over the radio. We're here to provide assistance. Should we disable the alien ships? Thanks, but I think we're good, Marcus replied. I was just explaining some of our research to our visitors. Copy that. We'll just hang around in case you need us. Try not to accidentally destroy anything important. No promises, Marcus said cheerfully. Crexton stared at the human fighters surrounding his ships. According to his sensors, they were not even there. They registered as empty space, but he could see them with his own eyes. How are your ships invisible to our sensors? He asked. Stealth technology, Captain Rodriguez answered. We bend light and sensor waves around the aircraft. Pretty standard stuff. That technology should not exist. Really? We've had it for decades. We just made it better. Crexton made a decision that would haunt him for the rest of his life. Retreat. All ships, retreat immediately. Sir. His weapons officer asked. We have not completed our mission. The mission is over, Crexton said firmly. We are leaving now. As the Crex ships prepared to jump to hyperspace, Marcus called out to them one last time. Hey, if you're ever in the neighborhood again, stop by during normal visiting hours. We do tours on weekends. Just try not to get too close to any of my experiments. Insurance doesn't cover interdimensional incidents. The Krex ships vanished into hyperspace, leaving Dr. Webb to return to his coffee and his impossible machines. Back at McMurdo Base, Dr. Kim looked at her colleague with exasperation. Marcus, you do realize you probably just started an interstellar incident? Nah, Marcus replied, taking another sip of coffee. They seem nice, a little jumpy, but nice. He paused and looked thoughtful. Although I should probably mention this to the Pentagon, they've been asking for updates on any unusual visitors. You think they'll be interested? Are you kidding? The military loves new technology. They'll probably want me to build them a gravity cannon or something. Please don't give the military a gravity cannon. Too late. I already sent them the plans last month. Dr. Kim stared at him. What? They? Asked nicely, Marcus said with a shrug. Besides, what's the worst that could happen? The Galactic Council's secret monitoring stations had been operating for 6 months without any problems. They were hidden in asteroid fields, disguised as space debris, and protected by the most advanced stealth technology in the galaxy. No primitive species had ever detected them, which is why it came as such a shock when 16-year-old Jin Watanabe found them while doing her homework. Jin lived in Tokyo and was supposed to be writing a report about radio astronomy for her science class. Instead, she was using her computer to scan space frequencies because she thought it would be more interesting than reading textbooks. That's weird, she said to herself, staring at her screen. The signal she had found was definitely artificial, but it was not coming from any human satellite. It was coming from empty space near Jupiter. Jin was the kind of teenager who could not leave puzzles alone. She spent the next 3 hours trying to decode the signal. When that did not work, she posted about it on an online forum where amateur radio enthusiasts shared interesting discoveries. Found something strange near Jupiter, she wrote. Definitely artificial, but not human. Anyone want to help figure out what it is? Within an hour, 50 people had joined her investigation. Within a day, there were 500. By the end of the week, Jin's discovery had spread across every hacker forum, amateur radio club, and computer science department on Earth. The signal was encrypted, but humans had been breaking codes for centuries. It took them exactly 9 days to crack it. What they found inside made Jin's eyes go wide. Oh my God, she whispered, reading the translated text. These are surveillance reports about us. The files contain detailed observations of human behavior, military capabilities, and technological development. There were psychological profiles of world leaders, analysis of human entertainment, and something that looked like invasion plans. Jin immediately called her best friend, Kenji Tanaka, who was even better with computers than she was. Kenji, you need to see this. I think we're being watched by aliens. That's ridiculous, Kenji replied. Then he looked at the data Jin had sent him. Okay, that's not ridiculous. That's terrifying. What should we do? Jin asked. We should tell someone in charge. Who? The government? They'll just cover it up and pretend it never happened. Then what? Jin thought for a moment. We tell everyone. Within hours, the alien surveillance data was posted on every major website, social media platform, and news forum on Earth. The governments of the world tried to take the information down, but it was too late. Millions of people had already downloaded it, but humans being humans, they did not panic. Instead, they got curious. And then they got creative. The first breakthrough came from a college student named Alex Rodriguez, who was studying engineering at MIT. Alex looked at the alien communication protocols and thought they seemed inefficient. I bet I could improve this. he said to his roommate, Dave Chun. Improve alien technology? Dave asked. That seems ambitious. It's just software, Alex shrugged. Software can always be improved. Alex spent the next month reverse engineering the alien communication system. When he was done, he had not only figured out how it worked, but had built a better version. Want to see something cool? Alex asked Dave one evening. Define cool. I just sent a message to the alien monitoring station near Mars. Dave stared at him. You did what? I said hello and asked if they wanted to be friends. I also attached a video of cats playing piano. I thought they might like it. The message reached the monitoring station 12 minutes later. Commander Vexstock, who was in charge of the Mars station, stared at his communications console in shock. Sir, his? Communications officer reported, we are receiving a transmission from Earth. That is impossible. The humans do not have the technology to reach us. The transmission is using our own protocols, sir. But they have been improved somehow. The data compression is 30% more efficient than our standard. Show me. The message. The translation came through clearly. Hello, alien friends. My name is Alex Rodriguez. I hope you are having a good day. I found your communication system and thought I could make it work better. I have attached a video I think you will enjoy. Please let me know if you would like to be friends. Also, do you know anything about faster-than-light travel? I am working on a project for school and could use some hints. Attached to the message was a video file showing small Earth creatures called cats playing a musical instrument. Sir, a communications officer said nervously, should we respond? Absolutely not, Vexstock replied, and send an emergency message to the council. Our cover has been blown. But Alex Rodriguez was not the only human working on alien technology. Jin Watanabe had shared the surveillance data with her school's computer club. Kenji Tanaka had given copies to his uncle, who worked for a technology company. Within weeks, dozens of human corporations were secretly working on projects based on alien designs. None of them thought they were working with actual alien technology. They thought they were reverse engineering props from science fiction movies. Tech Global Industries released a new line of quantum communicators that could send messages anywhere on Earth instantly. They marketed them as inspired by the latest sci-fi films and sold millions of units. Hypertech Solutions launched gravity manipulation toys that could make small objects float in midair. Children loved them. Parents bought them as gifts. Scientists quietly studied them and had nervous breakdowns. Even worse, humans started selling these devices online. The auction sites were full of listings for movie props and replica alien technology that were actually functional weapons capable of destroying cities. A teenager in Brazil bought what he thought was a toy laser pointer for $20. It was actually a handheld plasma cannon. He used it to carve his initials into a rock and accidentally created a crater the size of a swimming pool. A grandmother in England purchased what she believed was a fancy new microwave oven. It was actually a matter disintegrator. She used it to heat up leftovers for 3 weeks before someone from the government came to take it away. The reviews on these products were terrifying. 5 stars. Great replica phaser from Star Trek. Very realistic effects. Accidentally vaporized my garden shed, but the grass grew back greener than ever. Love this gravity generator. My kids have been floating around the house all weekend. Neighbors are asking where they can get one. This temporal displacement device is amazing. I used it to go back and fix a mistake I made last week. Only problem is now I exist in 2 timelines, and my other self keeps eating my food. The Galactic Council received reports of these sales with growing horror. They are treating weapons of mass destruction like consumer electronics, Dr. Valandra reported to the emergency session. They write reviews complaining about battery life and user interface design. One human complained that his matter disintegrator did not come with proper instructions, added Commander Seth Carr. He gave it 2 stars and said he would not recommend it to friends. What about their governments? Asked Senator Morrigan. Surely they are trying to control this situation. The governments are trying, Admiral Kexter replied. But the humans are faster. Every time officials shut down one website selling alien technology, 10 more appear. They are treating it like a game. A game? Senator Morrigan asked weakly. They have turned the acquisition of galactic-level technology into an entertainment activity. There are online communities dedicated to finding and sharing alien designs. They call themselves space tech hunters and compete to see who can discover the most advanced artifacts. Ambassador Kyleth, who had been quiet during the meeting, finally spoke up. There is something else. The human who first contacted our Mars station has been sending us messages every day. What does he want? Help with his school project? He is trying to build a faster-than-light engine for his final exam. He says he has most of it figured out, but needs advice on the power source. Please tell me you have not been helping him. Of course not, but he has been making progress on his own. His latest message included blueprints for a hyperspace drive that our own engineers say might actually work. The chamber fell silent. How long? Zethkar asked quietly. Until he completes his project. According to his messages, he plans to test it next month. And if it works, then a human college student will have invented interstellar travel as a homework assignment. Admiral Kexter stood up. We cannot allow this to happen. What do you suggest? Asked Kyleth. We send a diplomatic mission to Earth immediately. We make official contact. We tried to control the situation before it gets any worse. It is already worse, Dr. Valandra said, bringing up a new report. Our intelligence indicates that at least 50 human corporations now have access to our technology. They are integrating it into everything from children's toys to military weapons. And they are improving it. Improving it how? They are making it smaller, more efficient, and easier to use. What takes us a starship-sized reactor to power, they are running on batteries. What requires our most advanced computers to control, they are operating with simple voice commands. Senator Morrigan looked like he might faint. How is that possible? Human engineering philosophy is different from ours, Dr. Valandra explained. We design technology to be safe and reliable. They design. Alex Rodriguez stood in front of his engineering professor, holding a small device that looked like a metal box with blinking lights. His final project presentation was scheduled for 3 in the afternoon, and he was nervous, not because he was worried about his grade. He was nervous because he was pretty sure his faster-than-light engine actually worked, and he had no idea what that meant for the rest of the galaxy. Ready for your presentation, Alex? Professor Chon asked, checking her watch. I think so. Alex replied. Just to be clear, if this thing accidentally opens a hole in space-time, that's not my fault, right? Professor Chun laughed. Alex, you're building a theoretical model for a class project. The worst thing that could happen is it doesn't turn on. Right, Alex said, though he looked unconvinced. What Alex did not know was that 300 miles above Earth, the largest gathering of alien ships in galactic history, was watching his presentation through hijacked satellite feeds. The Galactic Council had decided that official first contact could not wait any longer. Representatives from every major civilization had come to witness what they were calling either humanity's greatest achievement or the galaxy's greatest disaster. Commander Zethkar stood on the bridge of the flagship, watching Alex's presentation. On the main screen, around him, the bridge crew monitored dozens of human locations where similar experiments were taking place. Status report, Zethkar ordered. 17 different human institutions are conducting faster-than-light experiments today, reported his science officer. MIT, Stanford, Tokyo University, and 14 others. Most appear to be student projects. Student projects, Admiral. Kexter muttered. They are treating interstellar travel like a homework assignment. On Earth, Alex connected his device to a power source and turned it on. The metal box hummed quietly and began to glow. The basic principle, Alex explained to his class, is that space-time can be folded if you apply the right kind of energy field. I based this on some communication protocols I found online that seemed really advanced. Professor Chun frowned. Alex, where exactly did you find these protocols? Some forum about amateur radio astronomy. A girl in Tokyo discovered them first. Really smart kid. She's been helping me debug the software. In the alien fleet, Ambassador Kyleth turned to Zethkar, the Tokyo student he mentioned. That is Jin Watanabe, the one who first discovered our monitoring stations. A 16-year-old girl has been helping college students build interstellar drives? Zethkar asked. Apparently, she found the project interesting. Back in the classroom, Alex's device started working. A small sphere of twisted space appeared above the box, about the size of a basketball. Through it, the students could see what looked like the surface of Mars. Oh, wow, Alex said, staring at his creation. I was hoping for maybe a view of the parking lot. This is way better. Professor Chun's coffee cup fell from her hand and shattered on the floor. Alex, she said very carefully, what exactly are we looking at? I think it's Mars. See those red rocks? And look, there's some kind of structure over there. Looks like a building or something. The structure Alex was pointing at was the Galactic Council's secret Mars monitoring station. Inside that station, Commander Vextok was having the worst day of his career. His supposedly hidden facility was now visible to a classroom full of human students through a portal created by a homework assignment. Sir, his communications officer reported, the humans are trying to send something through the portal. What are they sending? It appears to be a small robotic device with a camera attached. On Earth, Alex had grabbed a drone from the university's robotics lab and was flying it through the portal toward Mars. This is so cool, one of his classmates said. Alex, you should totally live stream this. Great idea, Alex replied, pulling out his phone. Hey everyone, this is Alex Rodriguez, and I just accidentally opened a portal to Mars for my final project. Let me show you around. Within minutes, Alex's live stream had 10,000 viewers. Within an hour, it had 10 million. By the end of the day, half the planet was watching a college student explore Mars with a drone. The drone reached the monitoring station and began filming the exterior. Wow, Alex said to his phone camera. There's definitely artificial structures here. This looks like some kind of research facility. I wonder if there's anyone home. Inside the facility, Commander Vextok made a decision that would change galactic history forever. Open the airlock, he ordered. Sir? His aide asked. Are you sure? We are already exposed. We might as well say hello. Vextok walked outside his station and waved at the human drone. Through the portal, Alex's entire class could see him clearly. Holy shit, one student whispered. That's an actual alien. Language, Jessica, Professor Chun said automatically, then realized how ridiculous that sounded under the circumstances. Alex waved back through the portal. Hi there. I'm Alex Rodriguez from MIT. Sorry for dropping in unannounced. This was supposed to be just a class project. Commander Vextok activated his universal translator and spoke directly to the drone's camera. Greetings, human Alex Rodriguez. I am Commander Vextok of the Galactic Council Mars Observation Post. We have been monitoring your species for some time. That's so cool, Alex replied. Are you guys available for an interview? I think my live stream audience would love to meet you. Your live stream audience? Yeah, about 15 million people are watching right now. Earth gets pretty excited about new things. In the alien fleet above Earth, every commander was shouting orders at once. All ships, prepare for immediate departure, Admiral Kexter commanded. Wait, Ambassador Kyleth interrupted. Look at the human response. On screens throughout the fleet, they could see the reaction to Alex's live stream. Humans around the world were celebrating. They were excited, curious, and welcoming. Social media was flooded with messages like, "Welcome to the galaxy," and "Can't wait to be space friends." There was no panic, no fear, no military mobilization. Instead, someone had already created a Wikipedia page about Commander Vextok. Another person had started selling T-shirts with his picture. A restaurant in New York was offering a special first contact menu. "Sir," the communications officer reported, "we are receiving thousands of messages from Earth. Humans are inviting us to visit, asking about our technology, and offering to share their food." "Food?" Admiral Kexter asked. "Yes, sir. Many of them are asking if we would like to try something called pizza." Meanwhile, Alex had managed to fly his drone into the Mars station, where Commander Vextok was giving an impromptu tour to 15 million humans. "This is our main communications center," Vextok explained, pointing to banks of alien technology. "We use it to monitor transmissions from your planet." "That's awesome," Alex said. "Hey, do you mind if I ask about your faster-than-light communications? I'm trying to figure out how to improve the bandwidth on my portal." "You want to improve it?" "Well, yeah. Right now, it's only big enough for a drone. I was thinking it would be cool if people could walk through it." Professor Chun sat down heavily in her chair. "Alex, please tell me you are not planning to build a teleporter to Mars." "Not just Mars," Alex replied cheerfully. "If the math works out, I should be able to open portals anywhere in the galaxy. Jin thinks we could probably manage other galaxies too, but that might require a bigger power source." In the alien fleet, Ambassador Kyleth turned to Commander Zethkar. "Orders, sir?" Zethkar watched as more human students began setting up their own portal experiments. Universities around the world were already announcing plans for interstellar exchange programs. Someone in Australia had opened a portal to the moon and was taking tourists on virtual tours. "Stand down all weapons," Zethkar ordered. "Prepare a diplomatic landing party." "Sir, if we cannot stop them, we might as well join them. Are you sure that is wise?" Zethkar looked at the screen, showing Alex Rodriguez excitedly explaining portal physics to Commander Vextok, while millions of humans watched and cheered. "Wise? Probably not," he said. "But I have a feeling that resisting humanity would be much more dangerous than befriending them." An hour later, the first official diplomatic ship from the Galactic Council landed at the United Nations building in New York. Ambassador Kyleth walked down the ramp to find a crowd of reporters, protesters with welcome signs, and a food truck selling something called alien fusion tacos. General Patricia Hayes was waiting for him with a smile. "Welcome to Earth, Ambassador," she said. "We've been expecting you. Would you like some coffee? We've got a lot to talk about." As they walked toward the UN building, Kyleth could see more human experiments lighting up the sky. Portals were opening to distant stars. Communication links were being established with alien worlds. And someone in Tokyo had apparently figured out how to broadcast Earth's internet to the entire galaxy. "General Hayes," Kyleth asked, "are your people always this enthusiastic about meeting dangerous aliens?" "Dangerous?" General Hayes laughed. "Ambassador, you guys have been watching us for months, and your worst-case scenario was politely asking for directions. Trust me, we've met much scarier things than you, such as Each other, she replied. But we're working on that too. Above them, the first human-built starship was already under construction. It would be completed in 6 months, not by a government,